Okay, so any kind of, I mean, I'm sure the journey you faced a lot of challenges. I mean, as a young entrepreneur, one, and two, being a female. So, could you just kind of, elaborate on these?
I think first things first, as a young entrepreneur, I feel like with my parents, they just kind of threw me into the deep end. They were like, this is your baby. You will
Mm-hmm.
sort it out. You will handle everything yourself. And I was like, yeah, completely. You have our support. You have our teams if you need any, anyone to get advice from, whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I always had a good support system, but I was allowed to be independent enough that I was never under anyone's thumb, so to speak, even
Mm-hmm.
being so young. I think definitely the coupling of being a young woman entrepreneur does take its toll, because I know I've had conversations with suppliers and people where they haven't taken me seriously, where I've had my team talk to them because they were just like, what is this like young girl telling us? Like, how can she be the one who is in charge of this whole situation?
Yeah.
And I always very much was. So I found that really frustrating, especially just like it's just Indian culture, right? So at some point, there's a lot of barriers to break, but there's only so much you can do. And sometimes it's better to step away from the situation than to be completely inside it and cause yourself unnecessary stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if it gets to a situation where a supplier wasn't listening to me, wasn't respecting my opinion, so to say, I
Mm-hmm.
would have someone from my team take over and just handle it, to the point that I am not involved until you need final level authorization.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I think they realize your level and your value in the play in the space.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is one challenge I definitely have faced. A lot of other challenges you face, this is not necessarily for being a woman, but like there are obviously language barriers, right? Because we work with a lot of our packaging comes through internationally. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to deal with that as well, right? So there's a way to deal with other people's schedules and kind of how they function. So different countries function in different ways, which I've learned recently, which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of interesting actually, if you think about it,
Yeah.
because the exposure you get to different cultures is kind of cool in this job.
Yes, I'm sure.